All right, welcome to Therapy Thursdays at Ms. D Therapy. That's the channel. So I'm Davina Parker. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and throughout the week, people send questions, and on Therapy Thursdays, I pick one to expound on. And this time, we're talking about prenups. We're talking about prenups and how they can impact your relationship in a negative way, right? So let's get started. One of you sent a video, and in this video clip, a guy he's calling in and he's saying like, "Hey, I'm an accountant. I'm about to get my CPA or take the test. I think that's what it's called. And they're going to get married. My fiance is a doctor, and she doesn't have any debt, but I have debt, and as a result, she wants me to sign a prenup." And he was kind of like, "I just feel some kind of way about this, and I don't know how I feel about it." And one of you sent this in, it was like, "Hey, what are your thoughts on it?" And I'm going to come from the perspective of like what I do and what I've seen over like the decade of years I've been practicing. So I wrote some things down. Yes, I've heard the arguments that it protects your investments. I've heard that. I've also heard like, hey, we should have a plan in place so that we protect each other from ourselves, essentially. Because if any of you have witnessed a divorce or been through a divorce that was like horrible, you know how ugly it can get, right? You know how ugly it can get. So I've heard that argument. I'm going to share the challenges I've seen in working with couples. Number one, there being like a power dynamic. So when you have one that makes significantly more and like this prenup is drawn up in such a way to like the other person who doesn't make as much gets nothing, there's nothing. It can make the person that gets nothing feel like they are almost like they don't have much of a voice. That the person who makes a lot, like the other one, can sacrifice so much, can support the other one, can do all of this, but feel like they don't have much of a say. And if they do say something, the person can just up and leave. I have seen that. I'm gonna tell you something else I've seen. I'm gonna say the three other things. When someone introduces the idea of a prenup, even in this situation, like, I don't have any loans, that's yours, so you need to pay for it. It's already a mindset of I, my, mine, and yours. Very, very singular, very, very individual, very not married. When, let me tell you, it's a package deal, whether it's financial or emotional. The idea of like, hey, you keep that over there, that's separate. Imagine, somebody saying like, hey, that's all your stuff. Whatever you struggle with, you made those decisions. Because another thing that she's saying is, I don't trust you. That's what she's really saying. I don't trust you. I think you've made poor decisions regarding your finances, and I don't want to be on the hook, and I don't trust you. That's what's being said. And also at the end of this, I'm going to tell you steps you should consider taking before signing a prenup. All right, we're going to talk about that. So we have the two. Concern regarding lack of commitment. Now, what do I mean? What do I mean by lack of commitment? You have created an exit plan, and it can come across to your spouse that you're not really in this. You're not really all in, and that is something I have heard time and time again. You're not really all in. Why are you already planning for our divorce and we're not even married? And you want to know why? Let me tell you in another part. You want to know why that's an issue? Because rarely do I see a couple that says, hey, yeah, here's a prenup, but also when we experience challenges, what is the plan to stay? What is the plan to work it out? You got an exit strategy. That's the first, and people they have like their non-negotiables, and that's the first thing that they mention. Not first, but you know what I mean. The set of things that they mention, like a prenup. But rarely do they mention, hey, when we have challenges, what's the plan for us to work through those things? You see that? That's different energy. That's a different mindset of like, what are we going to do to work it out so we can stay versus what are we going to do when we did? That's an issue. That's an issue. Okay. And something else that I've seen, when someone has like a prenup and they're having like challenges within their marriage, I see a lot of people emotionally withdrawing, treating their marriage as like a contract. Like, well, we already got it set. We can just cut it and dip, rather than seeing this as a partnership, one built on love and support and working things out and seeing what's the best way of doing it. And I've seen that. So here are some things I would if this couple came to me, these are some things I would say I would recommend. And so I'm recommending it to you. In terms of debt, what would happen if you had a conversation of just like, hey, what's your plan to pay this off? And working together and identifying a plan. Because that's what you do when you are in a partnership, when you are married. Ideally, in a healthy one, you are working together to problem solve this issue, because your issues become their issues. Their issues become your issues. That's when I say it's a package deal. Something else I would recommend strongly. Yes, consult with an attorney if that's the route you want to take. I'm pretty sure you can draw it up in such a way to where it's fair, but you have to talk to an attorney, right? Consult with a financial advisor. That's another thing, because I'm also curious as to what this guy's relationship is with money. Is it only that you have debt, or has she really paid attention to his spending habits? Like, what's going on? Before signing anything, before signing a prenup, you need to go through premarital counseling. Yes, you do. Yes, we do. Why? Why? So in my practice, when I do premarital counseling, you both people are given an assessment that goes through every area of a marriage. It goes through communication. It goes through the areas of physical intimacy, emotional intimacy, finances, family, leisure time, stress levels, work. It goes through every area of a marriage. And so in doing so, we're able to identify your strengths and your areas of growth. In this particular couple, it is clear that there are some fears and concerns as it relates to money, as it relates to probably like being destitute, as it relates to things being treated unfairly. And I really wonder what's there. What's there? So I strongly recommend you consider premarital counseling. If you need somebody to help you along that journey, I'm here. I do it. You can email me at info@missd.com, or you can go to my website and pull a form in and it'll reach me. And that's www.missdtherapy.com. You should really consider that, because there's some things underneath here that is not just about the prenup. This person is concerned. And people who are married, I've seen them come in for financial issues. Like, one person feel like they're struggling financially, the other person like, well, this is my money. What you gonna do about it? And that causing issues. So I hope that was helpful. Let me make sure I don't have anything else on here. I mentioned premarital counseling. I mentioned, yeah, yeah. That's it, y'all. I hope that helps.